It's Garced. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly what we do as listing agents to help you sell your home at the price you want, the terms you want, when you want. I'm Garced, or Ali the Agent, on all social media. Feel free to shoot me a message anywhere, and I respond to all comments. So if you have any questions throughout the video, drop a comment below. I'm more than happy to respond. Or if you know that you want to work with us, if you know that you want us to sell your home, book a call with us with the link below, because that is the best way to guarantee a time and spot on our calendar. What's going to happen is when you book the date and the time that works best for you, my teammate is going to go out there to your property. We all work together, 2 realtors for the price of 1, and they're going to go out to your property. They're going to take videos and photos, get a good sense of what your property could sell for, and give you advice on what will be needed in order to sell your home for the maximum amount. And we'll be working with you every single step of the way in order to get your home sold in a smooth manner. This is what we do every single day. But this video is going to show you exactly what we do behind the scenes. And if you wanted to even sell the home yourself in Tucson, this video is going to show you how. A lot of other videos you're going to be watching will show you the what needs to happen, but they won't tell you how you can do the what. So this video is to help you sell your home on your own if you wanted to. Let's start with number 1. The most important part is to determine how much we're supposed to list your property at. This is where a lot of sellers they're very emotionally attached to their property. With good reason. You've lived there or you've owned it for quite some time, maybe or maybe not, but you want to sell it at the most amount possible. And instead of pricing it appropriately at what the market determines, they slap a price on it that's way too high, and then the property just sits there, and all the other buyers see all these days on market of your property sitting on the market, and they think, why has this home been on the market for so long? There must be something wrong with it. I don't even want to go see it. And we do not ever want to be in that position. There's a little bit of reverse psychology when it comes to this. I'm sure you hear this time and time again, but it's true. If we were to list it just slightly below market, slightly, not enough for the buyers to wonder, whoa, why is this property so much cheaper than the others? You know, the same thing would happen. Hey, there must be something wrong with the property, but just slightly below, that gets the most eyes on the property, which is what you're paying us to do. The more eyes we can get on your property, the more buyers that we can get in the house, the more offers, and then the more offers, the more we can sell your property for. So this is where a lot of agents say, hey, price it appropriately. Okay, next step. But no, this is where I'm going to show you the how. How the heck do you price it appropriately? Say you wanted to sell your property yourself, and say you didn't want to hire any real estate agent. You can determine how much to sell your property for just by going on Zillow. Now, is this going to be perfect? No. Is this going to be as detailed as what a real estate agent or like what we can offer, being that we have access to the MLS? No. But it's something. So you can go on Zillow and at least get a head start. Say you wanted to work with us anyway, but you want to get an idea of what you could sell your house for. Go on Zillow. I'm going to show you exactly what buttons to press. Let's go. So we're going to go on Zillow. You're going to enter your property address. You're going to save it or hard it. And it might ask you, do you own this home? Say yes if you own the home. It doesn't really matter. But either way, as soon as you hard it, then click the X button, click out of it, and then you'll see your property on the map feature. Once you get to that map feature, you're going to, if it doesn't already, make sure that the far left column says sold. And let's start narrowing down. I don't want to go too far in the weeds here because I don't know what your property is. But say your property is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. Under beds and bath, you're going to want to include that exact amount. 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. You can ignore price, that second tab. The 4th tab on the right under the home type, make sure that you deselect the other properties and select only the type of home that you have. And then the most important part on the right side, the far right column under the more, this is where you're going to click that. And you're going to enter the specific characteristics of your property. Say your property is 2,000 square feet. I would put a range of the square footage. So put maybe plus or minus 300 square feet. For the lot size, same thing. And for the year built, I would do plus or minus 2 years to start. If we end up getting no properties as comps, then we can adjust the filters later on. But in the beginning, we want to be as specific as possible. So say, you know, the year that your house was built, say it was 2000. So you want to put 2 years before, 2 years after. Now, continuing going down, probably the most important part of all of this is under the sold in last. The sold in last is what shows you exactly what buyers are willing to pay for a similar type of property in your neighborhood recently. Not a year ago, definitely not 2 years ago, because the market changes all of the time. If you're listening to this video and it's 2024, we are not in the price range anymore than if you were to have sold in 2021 or 2022. Just because your neighbor's houses sold for maybe $320 does not mean you can sell at $330. That's what it was back in the beginning of COVID, where every single house was a trendsetter. Every single house was just selling higher and higher and higher. Unfortunately, we're not there anymore at this time. So you want to go to under the sold and last, I would say within the last 14 days. If nothing comes up, then refilter it again. We'll do the last 30 days. If nothing comes up, then the last 90. Here, for example, we will have 2 different comps to pull from. That's okay. It's always better to have 3, but as long as they're very, very like kind properties, say you're selling a 2-story home and the other properties are 2 stories, perfect. But it's always better to have a little bit more, so maybe it's worth adjusting the square footage a little bit, maybe it's worth adjusting the year built a little bit, maybe it's worth zooming out a little bit. Play with that until you get a sense for what homes are selling for in your neighborhood. As you're seeing the other homes, the other comps that have actually sold, not that are on the market, we don't care about on the market at this time, we care about those that have actually sold, the proof. Once you're taking a look at that, take a look at those photos. Actually go through the photos, go through the listing description, what is different about your property versus theirs. And be honest with yourself. This is the most important part. If you know that you have not done any type of rehab, remodeling, any sort of update to your property, please don't kid yourself. You're only going to be hurting yourself if you think that you can sell at the price that your neighbor sold at when your neighbor completely remodeled their kitchen or completely remodeled their backyard or their bathrooms. I'm not saying this to be rude. I'm saying this to avoid heartache in the future. Number 2, let's start getting your house list ready. As you're looking at the houses of your neighbors that have sold within the last 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, maybe 90 days, see what type of houses people are looking to purchase. What color were their walls? What type of flooring did they have? Could you tell if the roof was in good condition? What did the backyard look like? That will give you a sense of what the buyers are expecting your house to be. You know, like what kind of condition they're looking for. Right now, a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't, is the very neutral colored gray walls, white trim throughout the entire property with like LVP flooring. Very, very common, very neutral. If your house has vibrant green colors or like an orange wall and a red wall over there and blue, whatever, like kind of very southwestern colors, a lot of buyers will find it hard for them to picture themselves living there because it's a little bit more unique. Whether or not you like gray, that is what's going right now. That provides the most neutral color because the goal of showing your property is you want the buyers to be able to envision not what your home looks like, not how you cared for the home, but what they can do to your property. It hurts, I know, but you have to make it as easy as possible for them to envision their kids, their spouse, their whatever, themselves, their dog in your property, living their life. So that was a little bit more of like cosmetic stuff, right? But also if you have delayed or deferred any repairs or maintenance, now is the time to do it. It's not going to be later because the buyers are going to get in their inspection, which I'll talk about later, but you don't want any crazy things happening in the middle of the inspection period where you think you might sell your property, but the buyer found out that the roof is about to collapse or that the water heater doesn't work or is about to die, that the HVAC is 25 years old or even 20 years old, that you have an issue with the sewer. So I would suggest, I mean, you know your house best. I would suggest, first of all, it's always better to disclose everything. You have to disclose. You do not want to get in trouble for not disclosing something. That's jumping ahead though. That's going to the paperwork. But I would suggest if you know something is wrong with the property, fix it now. If you need any contacts or would like any contacts for any sort of vendor, a roofer, a plumber, an electrician, a cleaner, I'm here for it. I do this every single day. I have a lot of good people at great prices that can come over and give you a couple of quotes. So once you take care of the bigger ticket items, again, it really depends. I can't go into too much depth because I don't know the condition of your house. I see this very, very frequently. Say your home has like 4 different types of flooring. You have one type of carpet in these 2 bedrooms, another type of carpet in the other 2 bedrooms. You have a tile in the kitchen, but then a different type of tile in the living room. And it kind of looks uneven and janky. And it looks like like maybe you were only able to do one room at a time. That's not the best look. So maybe maybe it's worth getting your floors redone all at once. I have a great contractor who works on my personal properties here in Tucson. Overall though, what I'm trying to say is if your house needs some work, you can sell it for higher if you put that work into it now. Or you can also just sell it as is. Hey, I don't want to do any changes to the property. The house is being sold as is. At that point, the price is the price. You won't be able to get as much as maybe you wanted to, which is fine. You might be in a rush to sell. That might be perfect for you. Other things to note when getting homes list ready are the following. Number one, open houses. You want to make sure that you are making your property as available to the public as possible. That you want to be as frictionless. You want to be able to have buyers view the property, fall in love with the property, go to your property in person and check it out. It's annoying. Yes, but it has to be done. So I would suggest making it public, knowing what days you're going to be hosting an open house, what days of the week, what times, what hours, and advertising that. So that's for the open house. And for those that are going to be calling you, depending on if you're going to be putting signs outside, make sure you have a plan for you, your family, your loved ones, whoever lives in the house with you, your turtles, your cats, dogs, that whenever a buyer calls you and says, or calls your agent, calls us and says, hey, we want to view the property today at 2, or what we get all the time is we're outside the property. Can we go inside and check it out? You need to have a plan in order to make sure that you leave the house, that the house is in good condition. It's not in disarray. It's not crazy, dirty or anything like that. That you leave the house swiftly and you're able to have the property open and available and again, neutral for the buyer and the buyer's agent to walk in the property, take a look and see if they want to place an offer. Now, what happens if that call comes in and you're at work across town? Say it takes you 30, 40 minutes to get back home, and then you still have to go pick it up, take the dishes out of the sink and put them in the dishwasher, make the bed. If you have animals, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to have your neighbor come pick up your animal if you're at work? Are you going to leave your key to your neighbor or somebody that you trust to come get your animal, or at least put them in a kennel for the time being? You have to have some sort of plan, because buyers, I will tell you, and some buyers agents do not read. So even if you put it online that says we require a 2-hour courtesy call, they will not call. They will just show up. So you have to have a plan, because as annoying as it is, you might not want to shoo them away, because if you shoo them away once, they might not come back. The third part in selling your house is advertisement, and advertisement is everything. You want to make sure that it is online first and foremost. It has to be, and not just online, but preferably on the MLS, because that is the multiple listing service that all real estate agents check. They check this every single day, or at least the good ones check this every single day for their buyers. So as soon as they see a property come up, oh, perfect, this might match Jenny, this might match Hector, this might match this buyer. Let me tell these buyers, and so that way they can show their buyer clients the property. As soon as it hits the MLS, from there, it gets sprouted to all the public websites, Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, all those. And that's when the public sees it too, because word of mouth can only do so much. Although I do suggest that you tell your neighbors that you're selling, because neighbors love controlling their neighborhood, right? They want to bring in their own friends, their own family to the neighborhood. So what better than to tell your neighbors? And mailers work too. And then also you might want to think about paid advertisements. So yes, it's on the MLS, it's all the public facing websites, but also Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these social media sites, they help. Craigslist can be creepy sometimes, but all of them help. And if you are to add money into advertisement, paying for Facebook ads for geographically, locally targeted areas, pay for YouTube advertisements for a specific property, which I don't see any real estate agent doing, which we do in our gold package of our 3 listing packages that you can choose from. There, we can advertise and we can specifically focus on the people that are most likely to purchase in your neighborhood. For example, if you've ever heard of the website howmoneywalks.com, that'll show you what areas money is going from, where are people moving from. We use that website to be able to focus on advertisements, not just for people in Tucson, but instead we focus those advertisements on out-of-state buyers that are most likely to purchase your property. Step 4 is going to be figuring out your profits. Now, this is probably going to be the most fun one for you. and you can do this completely on your own. A lot of title companies, especially here in the Tucson, Arizona area, will have websites that offer you the chance to see and plug and play, like on their calculator, to see how much you are going to profit. So let's just do this as an example. For example, here we're doing stewartratecalculator.com/quote/net sheet. Over here, you're going to be clicking in the middle section, which is the seller net sheet, because otherwise the default is on the buyer side. So click on the seller net sheet, type in your zip code, and let's just estimate a closing date. So we'll just say the middle of January 2025. And again, this sales price, you don't want to just hope and dream and hope that you can sell it at a certain price. Use the actual comps, use the data. So the sales price, say $350, excellent. Say this is where the next up, you put the loan amount. How much do you have left on your loan? So go check that, come back, finish this form out. For the loan payoff, make sure that you put that in correctly. Under the property taxes, the default's gonna be 1.3%, and you're gonna see, or in case you don't know, that's really high for Tucson standards. Likely it's not gonna be 1.3 unless you purchase a new build. So usually what I see is more 0.8, but if you don't know where your property taxes are, here's another website, asr.pima.gov. Over here is where you can look up by name, your name, or by the address, and you can see exactly what your property taxes are and a little bit of those specifics there. So once you plug and play with this, somewhere in the top right, it's going to say treasurer tax. Click on that. It's going to take you to a different website. It's going to show you the taxes for the year. So be careful though, because it might show you just for 6 months at a time. Just multiply that times 2. If you do the drop down, you'll be able to see what the full taxes are for the year. Then come back to this page and input that amount. So say that it's like 0.8, which is 0.85, which is very common. Then at that point, you'll go under title and escrow, and you'll see that these are pretty much standard. A lot of the title companies here, they charge very, very comparable prices. Then under the costs and the credits. Now, this is where it really depends on the market. This can really hurt you if you do this incorrectly. So this is where I highly would suggest that you be represented by a good listing agent that does this often, because if they do not have their pulse on the market, then they really don't know how much to expect. Because as of right now, did you know that sellers are paying $15,000 toward buyers' closing costs? Or at least they're paying that much for my buyers. When I represent buyers, we're getting a lot of money from sellers, and they're paying for new water heaters, new roofs. They're doing a lot. So if you think that you're not going to be paying anything toward the buyer's closing costs, it might not be. You might be watching this video years from now, or even months from now, if the market takes a turn and all of a sudden buyers are paying for your closing costs, like in 2021 and 2022. As of right now, that's not the case. So reach out to us and let us know if you're interested, if you're truly interested in selling. So over here on the left-hand side, you're going to be seeing the breakdown of all of the credits and the costs to sell your home. So the listing agent, and then the buyer agent. If you live in an HOA, how much is the transfer fee? Sometimes that's a lot. Sometimes it also comes with a capital improvement fee. If you're paying for the home warranty for a buyer, include that. The notary fee, typically $200. HOA disclosure fee could be $400. Miscellaneous credits, this is if you're going to be paying toward the buyer's closing costs, which right now is very, very common. Over here, this is very general, right? Depending on what listing package you choose, the percentages are going to be different. Now, everything here, well, almost everything here is negotiable, but let's just say as of today, we're seeing a lot of $10,000 to $15,000 worth of sellers paying toward the buyer's closing costs. So we'll put somewhere in the middle, 12.5. Then at that point, at the bottom here, you're going to be seeing the estimated net proceeds. In this example, this is how much you would make. Now, of course, it really depends on how much is left on the loan, how much you could actually sell for, and what you negotiate. So as you get offers coming in, go back to this sheet or any other, similar sheet and play with the seller net. Now, once you have figured out an estimated range of what you could get for in proceeds, and you have advertised your property appropriately, you have hopefully a sign on the front yard, a good plan to get the buyers to come in and take a look at the property. Say now you have a couple of potential buyers, then the buyers, whether or not they're coming with an agent or you're doing this on your own, you need to have some sort of paperwork. You need to make sure that you're using a good purchase agreement so that way the terms are very clear for both you and the buyer. How long is the inspection period? How much is the earnest money? Where are they going to be paying the earnest money? Are they asking for a home warranty? Are you going to be paying for it? Are they paying for the appraisal? Have you spoken to that lender? Have you received the pre-qual or the pre-approval letter saying that yes, they qualify for that amount to purchase your property? Have you spoken to that lender and asked, are they fully pre-approved? Do you have to pull credit again? When are you going to have to pull credit again? Is there any chance of this property not going to close? If they send you an offer and you don't like it, then send the counter offer back, and there's an appropriate form for that too. And counter back with the terms that work for you. If they send a counter back to your counter, then, just go back and forth until you decide. Boom. Once you decide, then you are under contract. Then at that point, their inspection period starts, depending on how long they scheduled it for. Arizona, the standard is 10 days. So they have 10 days to do their inspections. Keep your water on, keep your electric on, keep everything on. They need to inspect everything. They may have 5, 6 different inspectors come out. They may have the roof, the general, the HVAC, the electric, the plumbing, pest, the whole 9 yards. After they finish what they call the Binzer period, they're going to send you a form, which is the Binzer form, the buyer's inspection, notice, and seller response. And it's going to tell you, hey, this is what we found that was like big ticket items on the property. This is what we want you to fix. In Arizona, that's how we do things. Now, you as a seller, you have the option to fix everything, fix some of it, or fix none of it. Whatever you decide, you respond back to them, and they have 5 days to respond, just like you had 5 days to respond. They may take it or they may leave it. If they decide to leave the property and say, you know what, we couldn't come to an agreement, at that point, they get their earnest money back. But say they go through with it. They go through, they're like, okay, even though you decided to only fix a couple of things, they're still gonna go through with the property. Great. Then at that point is likely when they order the appraisal to come out. If the appraisal comes back high, you won't know that because the appraisal will only go to the buyers. If the appraisal comes back at cost, you also will not be receiving a copy of the appraisal. You only really receive it. You receive notification if the appraisal comes in below what you and the buyer agreed to. So that goes back to the beginning portion of the negotiation where how much did you negotiate for? Did you maybe negotiate too high? Did you get an appraisal waiver from the buyer? How many of these terms did you negotiate? So at that point is another negotiation period where you decide, hey, are you going to come down as a seller? Is the buyer going to come up? Are you guys going to meet somewhere in the middle? That's usually what happens. You guys meet somewhere in the middle, and then at that point you close. Congratulations. If you need help with this, there are a lot of different tips and tricks that I can't mention everything because one, every property is different. Every seller has different needs. And strategies change over time depending on what the buyers are looking for. So if you'd like my assistance to sell your property and hire us, book a call with the link below. Check out our different listing packages. Choose whichever one works best for you. In all 3 of these packages, we pay for the photography. We pay for the 3D video. The video tour like Matterport, that's what helps you rank higher on Zillow. And as you know, Zillow is probably one of the most common websites that the public uses. If you decide on the gold package, I pay for the cleaner. Sometimes I will pay for the cleaner twice. Usually what my sellers end up choosing is they want to have the house professionally cleaned before photos and then again professionally cleaned as they're on their way out. So that way they don't have to deal with cleaning the house for the buyer. It's already done and I've paid for them. In some of our listing packages, we pay for the measurements and the floor plan because a lot of buyers, especially if you may have an older home or some sort of like funky layout, a lot of the buyers want to know exactly when you walk in, is the kitchen on the left? Is the master bedroom or main bedroom on the right? Is it, they just want to get a feel for what the layout is. So what you can expect from us after booking that call with me below, or if you want to shoot me a text as well, but what you can expect is once you book that date and the time below, my teammate is going to go over to your house. They're going to take videos and photos and talk to you of further depth into how we're going to sell your home. They're going to be bringing with them that day that you decide to book the listing paperwork. So we're going to be signing that day if we decide that working with each other is going to be a good fit. We might not. What I guarantee is that we are always going to be honest with you. We will never tell you that we're going to be able to sell your house at a price that we do not think we can sell it for. Sometimes real estate agents will go to a property and will promise things that they cannot deliver on. We only promise things that we can deliver on. We educate you the entire time. We want everyone to be as educated as possible throughout the process, our sellers and our buyers, to make sure that we go to the closing table together and in a smooth manner. Once you sign that paperwork with my teammate at your house, that doesn't mean we're going to be putting the for sale sign outside. It might be if you are in a rush, but but it really depends on what timing works best for you. We can wait until you're ready to go. We will start a group chat, so you're going to be on it. Any other parties that own the property, say your spouse or a family member, whoever it may be, is going to be in the group chat. I'm going to be on it as well as my teammate, so that way we are all communicating. We're going to be opening up early bird escrow with a title company, and once we have the signed paperwork, that is when we can start advertising your property. Again, it's 2 agents for the price of 1. So if you're seriously considering selling your home and you want us to list it for you, book a call using the link below and we will get the process started. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.